There's this one thing that I learned from a business consultant that we've worked with before, and it stuck with me all these years. And it really helps when it comes to prioritizing what you're working on. And he said, just keep this one question in mind. Whatever you are working on now, and you have to prioritize and decide, what do I need to do right now? What can wait? Keep this question in your mind. Is what I'm working on right now growing my business? Or will it continue to grow my business? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, maybe that can wait a little bit. Maybe there's something else that is more important. I've rubbed shoulders with many entrepreneurs over the years, and two things stood out from those who succeeded. Number one, the ability to prioritize, knowing what to focus on right now and what could wait for a little bit. And secondly, the ability to create realistic scenarios of expected outcomes. So basically playing off a couple of different scenarios and having a plan based on what the outcome could be for each one of those. So there are a couple of things that I use on a day-to-day basis to help me be more efficient about my time. But remember these three things. You can do this alone. You can work alone, but it always helps to have a team and people actually pulling their sleeves up and getting involved in the business. No theory will get you off the ground. So you can have all the degrees in the world. You can have, maybe you've read all the books. Maybe you've done an MBA. No MBA, no degree, no nothing will help me get the business off the ground if it's only based on theory. You have to get practical. And practical means experience. Experience means failures and successes. So be prepared for both, but you have to get your hands dirty if you want to actually get somewhere. So the 8 things that I use daily to make my time more efficient and that of my team is the following. We have a weekly team meeting. So we all work remotely. Once a week we get together. It's a 2.5, 3 hour meeting. Now it might seem like a lot of time, but that's the only time that the entire team is together. And it's important for me because that is the time that everyone has the opportunity to voice any concerns, any challenges, bring new ideas to the table, and it is much easier to brainstorm in person than over Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Some teams are remote all over the world and you don't have a choice. That's fine. You can make it work if you have to, but it's a really nice space to just get everybody together and talk about what is going on right now in the business. Where are we now? And that is my opportunity to share with the team who are not involved in the operational side of the business or the strategic side, to update them on where do we stand with partnerships, where do we stand with funding, what are new changes that we are bringing to the table and that we've discussed with the developers. So just get everybody on the same page. It is really important, and I always reiterate it, always go back to the vision. If people know where they are heading, it is much easier for them to get on board and bring new ideas to the table and help the business grow, that you're not the only one thinking of how should this business evolve, because they also know where you are heading. So many people make the mistake that only 1 or 2 know what is the vision in the long term, and everybody else kind of just have to tag along. They have to do the job, but they don't always know why. So this meeting, every single week, I make a point to go back to the vision. And something that the team really started to enjoy, and now they're looking forward to it, is every week I bring some inspirational talk to the meeting. I like TED Talks. So for the last couple of months, every time that we have a meeting, I have a TED Talk that I prepared or that I found on YouTube or on TED Talk, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we all watch it. And it can be something related to work, productivity, how to overcome procrastination, or just something about personal development and how to be your best self. Anything that is, TED Talks are made for inspiration, and they really enjoy these talks because it's not just about the business in that moment, it's also about the team and how they personally develop in this environment. Okay, secondly, I stick to half-hour meetings. If someone wants to book a meeting, they know we book half an hour. If we wrap up in 15 minutes, we're done. We don't have to fill the entire half an hour. And I hate hour meetings because it is so easy to get into this habit of filling the hour because you've booked out this time and talking nonsense and all kinds of other things and not actually sticking to the work, and now you lose time. And on top of that is the third thing, don't stick to the meetings if you don't have to. I have a daily check-in with my second in charge. She's absolutely amazing, and we can talk nonsense for the full half an hour every morning, and sometimes we have to put a stop to it. Sometimes it's nice to just have a human connection because we work remotely. It's nice to have a quick cup of coffee and actually talk about other things besides work. But we have a standing meeting every morning, but every morning both of us will check in. Do we need to meet today? And then we will be on WhatsApp. I don't have anything to add. Do you have anything to share? No, yes. And then we will decide if we're going to can the meeting or not. In that way, if I know that there's something I need to focus on, I don't feel guilty telling her I don't want to meet because we've got the opportunity tomorrow. I can always meet with her during the day. But I need to focus on what is important right now. If I need to discuss something, I've already got a space in my diary to talk to her. If I have nothing to discuss with her, but I have a really important email to get out, then I just say, sorry, I'm going to meet with you later. Let me focus on the email. The fourth thing is to orientate, then delegate. So in a space of 4 months, I hired 5 people. That was quite intense because it was difficult to onboard everybody. I was alone. The business was launching at the same time. So what I did is I orientated my second in charge up to the point where she grasped what we did. I'd say like 70%. I mean, you can't learn everything about a business in a month or two. But then when we started hiring more people, I delegated her to onboard them. And while it might not seem like the most efficient use of time because she was still new, it gave her the opportunity to come and ask me, hey, I need to orientate them, but there's a question that I have, or they had a question about this or this, and I will revert back. But while she's orientating the new people, I could carry on with the launch and getting everything in place. And then what happens is, as the new people are onboarded, they start onboarding the new ones. So I have a check-in with every new appointee, make sure that they understand the most important things that they have to understand, and then I delegate to everybody else. You are in charge of orientating them to this document, this report, this software program. And it makes my life easier because now they are helping each other, and once they run out of ideas, they come back to me. And then what I started doing, if I get the same question over and over again, I record a Loom video. As easy as that. I go on my computer, I make a 1 to 5 minute Loom video, and then I have that link. And whenever someone is asking the same question, I pop the link to them and I say, here you go, watch it. You will find all the answers that you need there. Number 5, trust the people that you hire to do the job. If you tend to micromanage, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I've had many managers like this before. You know you can do the job, but they check up on you constantly because they want to do it their way. Don't be that person. It is really difficult to work for a micromanager. If you appoint them, and if you felt when you appointed them that they looked competent, their CV had the right experience, or at least relevant experience, or the CV shows that they are capable, trust them. Stop checking up on everything. You cannot stay in control of everything in a startup. Pick what you need to be in control of. Obviously, business model, finances or funding, anything that might potentially put you at risk, like legal aspects, yes, stay on top of that. But smaller things, let them figure it out. Sometimes if they have the freedom to make a mistake, they also have the freedom to come up with a better solution that you might come up with. Give them the space and trust them to do their jobs. Unless they completely mess up, let them have a go and let them try and figure it out on their own. Speaking of Loom, number 6, hire outside the box thinkers. I know it sounds obvious, but it's not as easy as you think to hire someone that thinks outside the box. Like, how do you taste that? How do you check if someone is able to think outside the box? You've got maybe half an hour on a Zoom meeting or in person to understand how does this person think or what is their personality. And it's very easy to fake things for 30 minutes when you meet someone new, right? You can even fake it for a full hour. So I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but with limited time, limited resources, what we did when we started hiring people was to put them through a test straight off the bat. So I would put the job description out on LinkedIn and our local platforms. And the job description will be, for instance, an account manager. So I get 100+ applications every single time. It's quite difficult to work through all of the applications, but once I've gone through, I usually sit with about 30 potential people. But now I don't want to interview 30 people. I honestly don't have the time, or I don't really want to. Especially because sometimes you are 30 seconds into an interview and you realize this person is not a fit, and now you have to entertain them for 30 minutes. Be nice, because you've invited them into an interview now. So let's just not waste time. So what we do, is from those 30 applicants, I send an email to all of them saying, congratulations, you made it through to the first round. Please, can you do the following? Sign up to a Loom account if you don't already have one, and send me a short Loom video, no more than 2 minutes, answering the following 2 questions. And then I put questions out, depending on the job description. I would ask them, why do you think you are the perfect candidate for this role? And a question that I've asked before, what motivates you from day to day? This is more for a sales position because motivation is really important if you work in sales. And I kid you not, out of 30 applicants, I never receive more than 6 replies. So they shortlist themselves. So why I do that is because, number one, not everyone is familiar with something like Loom. So it means they now need to go and figure out what is this. Secondly, not everybody is comfortable to now talk on camera and record this. So, that maybe they don't want to. But that's exactly what I'm looking for. In a startup, I'm looking for someone that's willing to learn new things. So orientate yourself to Loom. I'm looking for someone that's willing to be a little bit uncomfortable because that's where you are in a startup. Maybe you have to pitch to investors, or maybe you have to pitch your idea to customers. You have to put yourself out there. Not everybody wants to. So if you're not willing to do that for an interview, that already tells me that you're not going to be willing to do that for the business. So out of 30 people, I cut it down to 6. Out of those 6, normally there's only about 3 or 4 of the videos that I really like. And from there, I do the first actual interview. So I cut it down to maybe 4 to 6 interviews at most. And out of those 4, there's usually only 1, max 2 that really stands out. I mean, it's still early days, things can always change, right? But I can see all of them think outside the box and they bring ideas to the table. So what I wanted, I got out of this method. You can do whatever you want, but it's a very nice way to filter and save time. Number 7, work with those who want to and leave those who do not want to work with you alone. I'm talking about stakeholder engagement. In the environment that I am in, there were certain people that I needed buy-in from. And there are certain people that I just pleased with the idea of consulting them. If they were on board, I would continue the conversation with them. If it was important to have their buy-in. If it was not important to have their buy-in and they were also not convinced of the idea, I left them. Too much time is spent on people who do not actually give a damn about your business, trying to convince them. Some people are better convinced once they see it in action. It doesn't mean you're never going to be able to convince them, but sometimes people need more practical examples, whereas visionaries can get the idea once you just tell it or you pitch it to them, and they get on board straight from the beginning. Know the difference. Don't waste your time on people not interested in your business if you don't need them in your business. And the last one, hire generalists. It is great if you can hire someone with insane skills in marketing or digital design, depending on what you want them for in your business. If they are capable of doing more than one thing, it's better than having someone that is an absolute expert in, say, design work, but they can do nothing else, because you might need them to work on something that is outside of their job specs, and they might A, say, no, it's not my job, or B, say, I don't really know how, this is my expertise. Plus, if you get experts, they're also going to come at a premium price. So try and hire someone that you can rather upskill. If they have the basic skill and they have experience, that's a great start. You can always upskill. Sign up to Udemy, sign up to Skillshare, get them to do these courses and upskill them in the job. So there you go. Those are the things that I do every day. There are obviously a lot more techniques that you can apply, but I want to leave you with this takeaway message. I'm going to repeat myself. Is what you are doing right now growing your business? For instance, if you are setting up a meeting and you're setting up an hour and a half, is that going to grow your business? Do not waste your time on people who are not contributing to growing your business. Having said that, watch out for the upcoming video about how to make a very basic business model to just get started if you're not familiar with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.